Yes, number 3 tonight is one of the best judges of the form book I know. He hails from Dublin, but I think he's one of our own nowadays. He's the Irish Examiner's horse racing correspondent, and what he doesn't know about racing is more than one. He's the darling of Dublin, Mr. Tommy Lyons.
So I'm joined by Tommy Lyons now, who is the Irish Examiner Racing Correspondent here at the Raleigh Hotel tonight. Tom, you took over, I suppose, the post in July. You must be really, I know you covered the Cheltenham Festival last year, but I suppose this is your first year, I suppose, under the main position. So, like, what does the Cheltenham Festival mean to you?
Well, since I took over, it means it's going to be very, very busy. It's an insane week, really, in terms of work. I'll be on the track from probably, I suppose, 9:15 in the morning. I won't leave it till probably 8:30 at night. Just a lot of stuff to be covered now, but it's an exciting week. I mean, I still enjoy it. I enjoyed it last year. I had all that to do, and I still enjoyed it. So, I mean, God, if I can't enjoy this week, I'm wasting my time in this job, haven't I?
Yeah. So I suppose the wet days in Thurles and Clonmel. I suppose this is the pinnacle of the calendar.
Yeah, that's what you're going there all year to kind of pick up the little bits of information that might lead you to back in a couple of winners or tipping a couple of winners in my position. It doesn't matter where you've been and what track you've been in around the country for the year. You probably picked up something that'll be valuable now in the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, so it's amazing really, because we're here tonight on Friday night. The festival gets underway on Tuesday, and still so many questions that are unanswered.
Yeah, very much so. Actually, in fact, I spoke to Ruby Walsh only a couple of hours ago, and he said that tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, 4:30 a.m, the lads are in. The horses will be on the boxes by 6 o'clock on the lorries ready to go. And he said, I still don't know which ones will be going over in the morning. He says, for the Supreme Novices Hurdle, I know Min will be there, he said, but I don't know the rest of them. I said, I want to text when Youghal is on the lorry.
Yeah, I suppose a lot of rumours floating around that Youghal might be going for the Neptune now. In previous days it was that he was going for the Supreme. I know it's Friday, but what do you think now?
I really don't know, to be honest about it. I asked him to actually text me. I said, be serious now, Ruby, I want to text in the morning just to make sure. Like, if he's not on the boat tomorrow, he's not running on Tuesday. I still hope. I mean, if you're looking at the betting, I still think it slightly favours the Supreme, but I wouldn't guarantee it.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Gold Cup, because there's a lot of speculation as well in recent days and recent weeks that Davy Russell could come in and ride Don Cossack. What are the chances of that?
I hope it happens, and not because I have anything against Brian Cooper, but I think that the horse Don Cossack probably needs a change of rider. It's not because Brian Cooper's not a capable jockey, he clearly is. I would like to Davy take over, because it's a horse that probably needs just a little bit of confidence, just that little bit of freshness, a bit of change. As far as I'm concerned, he's the most likely winner of the race, and he might win over Brian Cooper on board too, but I just, for my own sake, I suppose, just a change more than anything else. As I say, he's not running down Brian Cooper. It's just, I think that Davy Russell got on well with him in the past. Paul Carberry, of course, got on well with him. Unfortunately, he won't be around to ride him, but I hope Davy does step in.
Yeah, so obviously you have a good insight into the WP Mullen stable with that Ruby Welch, I suppose, interview that's on the Examiner every Saturday. Very popular piece as well. Looking ahead to the festival, obviously WP Mullins has a lot of fancied horses. Which ones are the strongest ones?
Oh, I think the bet of the week is Limini in the Mayor's Novices Hurdle. I think she's exceptional. It's the first year of the race, the Novices Hurdle for Mares. It's probably going to be a big field, but maybe not a really, really strong race. She's potential to be exceptional. And I think she's only 10 to 11 even money. It's probably not a great price when you're going to a competitive race in Cheltenham, but I think she's the bet of the week.
Yeah, it could be enough to get the expenses for many of the Irish people that will be travelling over to the festival. Anything else we should be watching out for over the 4 days?
I suppose there's plenty. I've had a couple of bets. I've obviously backed Youghal in the Supreme. I hope he runs. I've backed Atoy Phil each way in the Neptune. Ruby gave me good word that he was working very well about a month, 6 weeks ago. I doubt he'll beat Yanworth. But back to me each way just in case. I thought, Yanworth doesn't jump brilliantly, and if you shouldn't really be scared of one horse alone, so I thought maybe he had a chance. The last time he ran the line of form with Acapella Bourgeois has worked out well, and hopefully he can step forward again.
Yes, so obviously our listeners and followers will be able to keep track of you through the Examiner every day, and of course the website as well. But what else have the followers to look out for?
Well, I suppose another horse that I have already backed and probably will back again is Ivanovic Gorbatov. But I suppose the most important thing for most people is to keep an eye on the ground. It's very important that it dries up for him. If it doesn't dry up, Vatour has no chance in the Gold Cup, no chance of staying, in my opinion, unless the ground dries up completely. I hope it does, not for Vatour but for Ivanovic Gorbatov on the same day, Friday.
Brilliant stuff. Tommy, thanks a million for having a word with us here tonight. We look forward to, I suppose, following your naps and selections throughout the week on the Irish Examiner.
Thank you very much, Barry.
Our fourth guest tonight is a man who will be standing as a bookmaker at the Cheltenham Festival next week. Again, what he doesn't know about racing isn't worth knowing. He's one of the shrewdest men in the game. He hails from Youghal. Ladies and gentlemen, please put together for Mr. Johnny Dineen.
Punter bookmaker Johnny Dineen, who has been standing at the Cheltenham Festival now since the early 2000s. Johnny, what makes Cheltenham so special for you?
Well, I suppose, Barry, it's the Olympics of horse racing, and it's where everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to be there to see what wins, and it's every national hunt horse is aimed at Cheltenham, specifically at Cheltenham. It's everyone's dream to have a winner at Cheltenham, isn't it? Really, I suppose. Anybody buying a national hunt horse wants to. That's ultimately their aim, isn't it? To try and win a race at Cheltenham, and not very few people achieve it, but that's basically like what most people are at when they're buying a national hunt horse.
So, what's the difference between, I suppose, a wet Clonmel on a Thursday and a Tuesday in Cheltenham?
Well, I suppose there is first of all, the crowds are massive in Cheltenham. The buzz that takes place at the meeting is second to none, basically. And you can imagine what Clonmel would be like in the midwinter. It's pretty run-of-the-mill stuff, and it's only diehards go there. Whereas Cheltenham attracts a wide variety of people: big punters, small punters, casual goers, people that just go racing once a year. People go there take their annual holidays there. It's all types go there, really. You know?
Yeah, so you're heading off again this year for the week. Are you heading there mainly as a punter or a layer?
Mainly as a punter. Laying has gone very, very difficult. The margins are so tight nowadays that it's very, very difficult to win. So you can do better by punting nowadays. It used to be the opposite one time. Maybe 10 years ago it would have been the exact opposite. But nowadays the momentum has shifted towards the punters. The punter has a big opportunities nowadays.
Right, so looking ahead to day one, of course, a lot of eyes will be on WP Mullins. Obviously, he's going to have the likes of Min in the first. We're not sure whether Youghal will run yet. In the Arkle, Douvan, you're going to have Vroom Vroom Mag. Can you say at this stage what you're going to be against or what you're going to be with?
No, I certainly wouldn't be with Min anyway, but it is difficult to oppose Douvan. It's difficult to I didn't overly fancy Vroom Vroom Mag, but apparently the vibes coming from the stable are very, very strong for Vroom Vroom Mag. They say it's working on a par with any power, and if it is, it will win now. It should win anyway, and they have any power, and what else have they got? They'll probably have something in the 4 mile chase, but like they have a big say in the proceedings on the Tuesday in particular. Like Douvan should win bar a fall, and Min is a big high pass. We'll wait and see how good he is. I wouldn't be overly fencing him myself now, to be honest.
Yeah, we're going to have short prices as well in the likes of Limini, Thistlecrack and Yanwood. Yeah. Have you any strong opinion on any of either of them?
Limonil was very difficult to beat. Yanworth would be very difficult to beat, and Thistlecrack has a very, very, very good chance. I wouldn't say it's unbeatable, but it is a very good chance. Like there's none of the three of them where I would say, yeah, I'd be dead against any of the three of those horses. Yeah. Yeah.
So I suppose the feature of the week, of course, is the Cheltenham Gold Cup. Probably going to be betting about 4 to 1 the field with the likes of Don Cossack, Dan Poley, Vittor, Jack Adam. Will Vittor get up the hill for starters?
Well, everyone seems to think he won't. That seems the general consensus in the game. Most people think that he's going to have difficulty in the last 2.5 furlongs, and it's quite possibly going to be the case. But the big thing will be the ground. If the ground is, there's about 5 horses can win it, the 5 we mentioned, and if the ground is good, it's going to be against some of the horses, and if the ground is soft, it's going to play to other horses' strength. Like good ground is going to be very important for horses like Q Card. It's Don Cossack by the looks of things, and Vautour certainly has no chance if the ground is soft. But if the ground was easy, and if there is going to be any rain at the meeting, it's going to be on the Friday. I would say the soft ground is a prerequisite for Jack Adam, and Don Poley could do with an ease to slow the others down as well. But I say Vautour will be up against it and whatever ground he encounters anyway, to be honest. And there is a chance Ruby Walsh won't ride it, and if that actually happens, it has no chance. And apparently it is working poorly as well. So all in all, would be very worried about Vautour now at this stage.
Right, that sums that race up. Johnny, final question is, we know you're one of the shrewdest judges in the game. Best bet or best bets of the week are?
The best bets of the week. I mean, I'm not going to tip you like favourites and skinny price favourites. They're not going to be any good to anyone. But I would say,
well, they're all right if you have enough on, Johnny.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Like, I do think Yanworth will win, but like he's not going to be any. Like, the prices have evaporated. Like, now he's only going to be even money-ish, 11 to 10, whatever price he's going to be. Not much good to anyone.
But he'll win, won't he?
He will if Youghal is the only. I'd much prefer if Youghal didn't run against him. If Youghal runs against him, he's a big chance. But I wouldn't fancy anything else to beat him. But Youghal, I'd be worried about Youghal. I still think he might beat him, but I would be very wary of Youghal. And any horse I would think that has a great chance in the World Hurdle is Alpha de Zobo.
Yeah.
Each way, he's a stonk in each way. He's just no way he'll be unplaced.
Brilliant, that's fair enough. And final question, I know I said that previous to the last one, but more of that or no more heroes? Any opinion in that race?
Well, I was reading there where people seem to be thinking that no more heroes wants good ground. I was thinking the exact opposite, and the good ground will be in more of that's favour. The one thing I'd have against more of that is he doesn't seem to have had an ideal prep. Like, he's missed 2 races. He hasn't run since November. Like, he's a history of bleeding. He's a history of wind problems. Like, if he runs the way he won the day he won the World Hurdle, he'll probably win this. But with John O'Neill wouldn't be my favourite outfit now, and the chances of him getting it right, I'd be against it anyway.
Arguably one of the finest riders in the sport at the moment. I've no doubt he'll be a future champion jockey in years to come. He's already a Grade 1 winner. He won sizing granite success at the Entry Festival last spring. He won the Galway Plate over the summer aboard Shanahan's Cork. He's the retained rider for the Anne and Alan Potts partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, the man from Cork Glass, put your hands together for Mr. Johnny Burke.
So I'm here with Cork Glass jockey Jonathan Burke, who's here at our Cheltenham preview night. Welcome, Johnny.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Johnny, you've got a couple of rides there over in Cheltenham next week. You're looking forward to them?
Yeah, looking forward to them. We have a nice book of rides. A lot of them have outside chances, I suppose you could say.
Let's start on the first day. You've got Super Sunday in the Supreme Novice on Tuesday, half 1.
Yeah, Super Sunday gets me started in the first race. It's great to be part of the first race in the opening day of the festival. I had my first ride in St John the race last year. He finished third, and just for a horse to run well at the start of the meeting for you, it just settles everything, and Super Sunday goes with a great outside chance.
You expect him to run a big race? Like, it's a very strong field with Min and Altior. Youghal maybe might be running it. Do you think he'll run a big race?
Hopeful. He's a very good horse. I've great faith in him. He was very impressive at Christmas, and he's sure to improve a lot for it. We've a better handle on him this year. He had a messy season last year, but he's a very, very good horse. But I do appreciate that it is a strong race.
Half or 40 minutes later on, you've got St John running in the Arkle. He won well back in Punchestown back in October. He obviously struggled last day in soft ground behind Douvan, but Douvan's a very good horse. But will your horse run a big race?
Hopefully again, like on all known form, we can't beat Douvan. But look, we'll go out and give it our best shot. Orford is in the form of his life. The boys have got him in a great shape down there, and a cracking race in the Supreme last year. So he goes there with his chance again. But in saying that, on all known form, Douvan's in the way.
Recently, your employers, Anne and Alan Potts, bought a very good bumper horse new to this town, trained by Jesse Harrington. He's going with a big chance over. Have you ridden him lately?
Yeah, I've had a couple of sits in him. Both at Jesse's, and I rode him working Naas last Sunday. Lovely horse. Very, very relaxed, and only does what he has to do. So the whole hype and everything at Cheltenham shouldn't bother him. His form has worked out of both his wins. Probably the second win was more impressive with Avenir doing V bolting up in Naas. Jesse likes him a lot, and he's a great addition to the Potts team.
Have you any other rides during the week, Johnny, that people in Youghal should take note of?
Yeah, looking forward to riding Smashing. local man Davy Russell stepped in for me when I was injured, and he was very impressive in winning in the Red Mills Chase. He was fourth around the track before. He's unbeaten this season, so he goes there with a great chance in what looks probably an open Ryanair. Picked up a nice bear in the triumph for Paul Nichols, a horse called Tommy Silver. He won in Musselburgh the last day. I think Paul is going to run 3 or 4 in the race, so look, he goes there with a chance. I think he's 14-1, so maybe each way betting him.
Now, we just briefly talk about the Gold Cup. I know you don't have any ride in it at the moment, at this moment in time anyway, but what would you like to ride in the Gold Cup?
I change my mind every time someone asks me. Look, it's a very competitive race. You could run it 5 times and get 5 different results. The top 5 in the market all have strong cases. If you were to twist my arm, I'd probably go with Don Cossack. The win of his Punches on Gold Cup last year just sticks out in the mind. You could argue he's going to win at King George, but you could say he was sluggish in his couple of wins and turtlers here and there, but it's the way he gallops from the last line in those races. He's only starting to get going. So if the first half of the race goes right for him, he's going to be very, very hard to beat.
Let's go and quickly ask you about the champion hurdle, Johnny. We know Annie Power's going to be, she's not been supplemented in the race, she's going to go for the race now, but what would you fancy in the race?
Annie Power's probably the class act. She's probably the one to beat. She's a great, top graded performer, but in saying that, Nicholas Canyon has the same profile as Faheen had, and he beat him before. I think he won a total of 6 grade 1s, so he sets a very high standard for the race. An improving horse is Henry the Rockhead's Identity Thief, won the fight in 5th, which is often a good guide for the champion hurdle. But I think if you were to twist my arm again, Nicholas Canyon, for me, his form is probably stronger than everything else in the field. I'd forgive him his bad run in the Irish champion hurdle. He had a very hard race at Christmas when he beat Identity Thief. So I'd flag up him.
And just briefly, Johnny, your dad had great success at the end of January in winning the Tiestes with My Murphy. He's a horse that you've ridden at home as well. Just give us your quick thoughts about it.
Yeah, I've ridden him in most of his work. Unfortunately, I wasn't available to ride him in any of his races. But he struck up a good partnership with Robbie Power. Robbie knows him very, very well, rides him very well, and he's been very loyal to both Dad and the horse. Like he never left him. He got to know him all last year. He was second in the race last year, and it was great for him to go one better this year. Delighted for Dad and all the lads in the yard. Even though I wasn't on him, it was still a great thrill for all of us.
Johnny, best luck next week from all of us at CRY 104 FM, and hopefully you've continued success in the future.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Your jockey, or former jockey, on the panel tonight is a man who's no stranger to success at the Cheltenham Festival. He rode not 1, not 2, but 3 Cheltenham Festival winners during his career. He hails from Lyons. He rode the mighty Salsify to 2 victories in open place free player. He now works behind the camera, so please put your hands together for our next guest, Mr. Colman Sweeney.
The next guest I have here at the Youghal Cheltenham Preview Night for CRY 104 FM is former jockey and now cameraman behind the scenes at the Irish race meetings, Colman Sweeney. How are you, Colman?
Good, yeah, delighted to be here, and thanks a million for having me down.
Colman, will you just tell our viewers at home what's it like to be used to be riding at the Cheltenham Festival?
It's an unbelievable thrill. Remember the very first time I sat in a horse, it was a horse Paul Nichols in the Kimura, and I finished 5th in him. And I came home and I was thrilled, but at the same time I said to myself, I won't be happy to have a winner, and I ended up having a winner 2 days later, and kind of snowballed from there then, and a couple of rides for Nichols, and I was placed another time in the Fox Hunters, and then Salsify came along, and being a family horse then, it was a different story to winning it on Sleeping Night, owned by the mother and trained by the father, and we came over, I'd say the parish rack Cork was empty heading over, and Lyons, I'd say there was more houses robbed that week than there was ever robbed there, and it was unbelievable. It's still when you even think back when I watched the video back, hairs in the back of your neck at lift, it's a crazy thrill, but I got out of one piece, and racing was good to me, and it's still been good to me now. I'm working in the industry as a cameraman with Iris, so it's still going well.
Of course, you were lucky one of them years where one of our guests here tonight, Jimmy Mangan's daughter Jane Mang, fell off just after jumping the final fence. You were probably lucky that day. You probably wouldn't have got home, would you?
No. To be fair, I wouldn't have caught her. Wasn't for on to trying. My lad, he was brave, and I turned in, and I thought I'd recovered. And Jane, she had given it a cute ride, made the running on heavy ground, and slowed it up when she needed to. And she just kicked and nicked 3 lengths on me, and no matter what I did at the second last and and after it even, she was still 3 lengths up. But the horse just kind of ducked for the fake railing, and he'd done it the year beforehand, and she just kind of got a bit unbalanced and came off, and it was a bit of divine intervention was the name of the horse that was second, so that's what it was. He was lucky to win it. But
now, while we're talking about the Fox Hunters, you're a point-to-point man, coming from a point-to-point background. Give us your thoughts on this year's Fox Hunters chase, led by On the Fringe, last year's winner.
Yeah, it's a very interesting race this year. The Irish have a strong hand again. On the Fringe, he's been beaten most years first time out. So I'd write off his last run in Leopardstown. It's actually a good thing. He's a bit of value now. He's 11-4. My money would be going on him, and I'd be getting on him now before he'll shorten, because the word from the end of Ulster camp is that he's back fresh and well. Jamie wasn't hard on him in Leopardstown either. Nina will know him a bit better the next day. He'll be hard to beat. The other 2 good Irish horses going over is Marito. Next Willie Mullen's horse, he was a good horse in his own right too. Noam McParlin will be riding him. He only just got beat the other day in a point-to-point by I Up Charlie, who's Henry de Bromhead's belonged to Alan Potts. Another good horse. So there's nothing much between them, but I think they'll have it all to do to beat On the Fringe.
Now, give us your thoughts on the Gold Cup. Very interesting race, wide open. What would you like to ride in the Colman?
I'd love to ride Vitour. I think he's a class horse in the race. Coming out of Cheltenham 12 months ago, he was, in most people's opinion, by far the best horse in training. He looked okay this year. I don't think he's peaked yet. Ruby was killing himself, I'd say, after the King George. He kicked on well too early, and he knows it. Willie knows it. All the talk in the last 2 weeks from Willie Mullins about Gold Cup is all about Vitour. He's not really mentioning Jack Adam as much, and he doesn't seem to be as excited when he's talking about Jack Adam. So I think Vitour, Valster Lido, I think just mightn't be fast enough to lie up early. It's going to be good ground. I think he might struggle to lie up. I know he won over the same trip last year. Don Cassack, I just don't think Cheltenham is his place. He wasn't at home there last year. I know it was over 2 mile 4 and he might have been on his head a bit, but Uxasandra was on his head too. Uxasandra put him on his head too. He went to go gallop, and they'll do that in the Gold Cup. I think Vitour's going to be the one. I think Ruby will end up riding him, and I think he's going to sit him in 4th or 5th, probably even with a bit of cover down the inside just to try and get him to drop it early on. And I'd say he'll be coming late and fast. I think he'll be the winner of it. Now,
the horse that the whole county of Cork is talking about, and he's really the hype horse, is the Champion Chase favourite under. So he's owned by the O'Connells from Glanmire. He's going to go with a huge chance, but will the fences hurt him, or will he go too fast? What do you think?
He didn't go too fast last year. He went off and did his usual, kicked on. He jumped the same fences last year. I know it's the old course this year, the Champion Chase, I think, is it? So he has to be the one to beat. He's very free. You'd be delighted for the O'Connells if he does go there. They're a great bunch, great family. It's going to be hard to stop. I think Ruby, you can't blame Ruby for falling the horse in Leopardstown, but it was heavy ground. The horse had pulled hard early, and I think Ruby was just giving him a chance going down to say, okay, we'll pop this, maybe fill your lungs and get you around the bend on the way home. And the horse was just a bit chancy at it. A bit novice-y. I know he's had his few runs over fence, he shouldn't have been novice-y, but it was a very similar mistake that he made the day he fell in Turnus as well. But he's that type of a buzzy horse. Moscow Flyer was the same. Moscow Flyer was keen, and he'd take a chance too. He fell at Cheltenham and was it the Arkle or the Champion Chase the first year. Them good horses, they travel fast, they jump fast. Every now and then they're going to hit the dirt.
Before I leave you go, Colman, your best bet of the week for the Cheltenham Festival?
Bet of the week, I really fancy Super Sunday in the first each way. He's 16-1. I did a few bob on him at 33-1 early on a couple of weeks ago. He beat Silver Concord well. I know he's going to improve the run, but he made him look ordinary above in Leopardstown, quick in the way like a good horse. But the bet of the week, I think, is On the Fringe. I think the fact that he got beat the last day, people are talking about him. He's gotten beat most years first time out, and I think it's only helped his price.
Colman, keep up the sterling work you do with behind the camera and Irish racing, and best of luck to your family with Salsify. Hopefully he'll come back and do big things later on the year.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Mangan.
Trained on a clan by our next guest. Grand National winning trainer, and again, one of the finest trainers in the game. Please put your hands together for Mr. Jimmy Mangan. Also tonight we'll have audio input from Ruby Walsh, who actually spoke to us during the week. So, we're going to get the show on the way.
It's 2 lengths away in 4. They've still got a quarter mile to go. It's Marcus Ellen to the run to the line. Now shout, not pass, he says. 7 out of 7 for Barnes 10.
Each way, it's been in €42 each way, so more on Super Sunday shortly. But Johnny Dineen, I mean, this opening race, it has been won by the Mullins team in the last 3 years by some great horses. Their prices look quite generous now in hindsight. This mean he's very short. Will you be able to get him as a bookmaker?
Yeah, quite possibly, depending what price he's going to be. It looks like Youghal isn't going to run in this race. It seems like it's going to go for the Neptune. So I mean, it'll probably be around the 2-1 mark. He looks plenty short enough from what he's done. He's only won like an egg and spoon, maybe heard of an egg and spoon in it, one. Speed, ball, dark, 14 little horses. This is a very, very deep race. It's really good horses in this. You could make a case for TR, Movement, or Tombstones, some sort of a chance. Super Sunday, even that Concord horse has a bit of a chance in the race. So, like, 2-1 looks a bad price to me. Bad price. I wouldn't touch it from the bar.
So, if you were to have a bet, what would you recommend our punters do in this race?
I fancied York strongly in this race, but it looks like he's not going to run and he's going to go for the Neptune now.
Besides, we discussed it here that.
As a result, he's not going to run. I couldn't have a bet in the race, to be honest. I think it's definitely open, but I definitely wouldn't fancy me.
Tommy Lyons, you're a really big fan of this York Hill. You've actually backed him for the Supreme. Johnny thinks he's not going to run. Are you still holding out hope for this one?
I would say I'm holding out hope now. I spoke to Ruby tonight for an exam at Colman. He said to me, all the horses that are going to run on Tuesday will be on the boat at 6:30 in the morning, so if he's not on the boat, he's not running this race. I told him I want to text at 4:30, I don't care. I'll have sleepless nights until I find out. I backed him 25-1. If he ran, I think he'll have a huge chance. I agree with Johnny, minutes too short. If you consider that he's not as good as Youghal, he's not as good as Latour, this is a deeper race than the last 2 renewals. There are 4 or 5 horses, as Johnny said, that you can make a case for. I mean, in that case, I'm not saying he can't win, he can win, but he can't back him 2-1. I think he'll drift. I think if the bookies want to lay him, he'll have to drift, even if, and I hold out a little bit of hope, even if the Orchids pull out of the race.
Sorry, looks a difficult contest indeed. Jimmy, what do you make of the Supreme?
Well, I've been to a few of these now. Last night down in Tipperary, Tom Hogan had been speaking to Noel Paddy, and he was going for Boga Deer or something. The French is good, she does.
It's the Henderson horse, yeah, 7-1.
Yeah, 7-1, and he gives him a right chance. But saying that, Min has won, like, you know, he can do only what else can he do? Only win. He came from France. I think he's had a little wind operation, but that's nothing these days. Every English trainer teaches that they do anything, they seem to do something to win. But anyway, the master will have him 110% in the day, and I know he's a short price, but he's on it. I think the Irish will be cheering, and I think he'll be in, and hopefully Johnny will be close enough. But maybe the Ballincollig lads will be cheering home now to as well, you know.
For Jimmy. So, Tommy, just back to yourself actually. Duvan pulled quite early off the stages 12 months ago. Much has been made about Min's keenness in his races so far. You know, in terms of Cheltenham, how crucial is it to take that into account? Like, I mean, can that cost him a race at Cheltenham, or the fact that they're going extra, you know, they're going a stronger gallop, will that help his case, do you think?
That will only help him if he can settle in behind horses, because I suspect he'll probably go off in front or very close to the front of that, and he may not settle. His jumping is a good asset, even at the end of the race there we just saw on the VT there. He actually jumped very well, despite the fact that he had pulled quite hard, he was quite keen. It's a bigger jump up in class than is reflected in his price, and that's what concerns me. If he does start pulling hard there, maybe he'll find a bit extra. But I mean, finding a bit extra on a flat track in Ireland is different to finding a bit extra up the hill in Cheltenham. Look, he can win. I'm just not going to say he won't win, because that's not the facts of the matter. I mean, I think Altor and Runwell, he probably won't win. Bookmaker has to step up, probably as much or more than Min has to step up. Tombstone, refused to win as far as I'm concerned the last day. Mine Blue Air Rouge couldn't happen. Super Sunday is improving. If he seconds early in the race, he has a chance at a big price. But I'm a bit more worried. But it's fine to take 16 to 1 Super Sunday if he doesn't set. You probably haven't had a lot on the price. If you've had a lot on the 2 to 1, then you're getting very worried.
Well, let's go to Super Sunday's Jockey next. Johnny, you've your first ride of the week in the Supreme Novices Hurdle, and it's quite a good one. Could be one of your best chances of the week, really.
Yeah, probably is. I can tell you, I want him a better set him. It's getting him going is really the problem. This year he's a lazy sort. We're under strict orders last year to rev him up and have him going, and because there was no real pace in the bumper, we ended up making it, and probably to the naked eye it looked like that the horse was keen. With a better handle on him this year. If anything, his jumping is probably a little bit of a worry. Only had the 2 runs over hurdles, and I felt the way he operated over the last 4 and that percent was good enough. And hopefully he will be good enough on the day. The first couple of hurdles will be most important to him. If he goes down and wins the first, I won't have a bother. If he goes down and box or something stupid at the first, I could be chasing it.
Very much in good shape, and you wouldn't be surprised if he won it, would you?
Not at all. I've massive faith in him. He's a massive engine, and we haven't got to the bottom of him yet. He was very impressive at Christmas, a lot more impressive than what I thought he would be. I appreciate Silver Conquer will improve a lot for it, but I tell you, the screws have been tightened on this lad, and he's spot on for Tuesday.
Yeah, well, it's very much have a few bob each way on Super Sunday at 16 to 1. That's the message from his jockey, Johnny Burke. I think that's the same for most of our panel as well. So just finally, lads, we're going to wrap up the Supreme. Colman, what wins the Supreme on Tuesday afternoon?
Super Sunday.
Johnny?
Super Concord each way.
Super Concord, yeah.
Silver Concord, we did Super.
Tommy?
Other than that, I can't forget.
Jimmy, you're going to say in? And Super Sunday from Johnny. Okay, let's move on to the next novice hurdle. It's the Neptune Investment Novice Hurdle. That's on Wednesday. It's the opening race of day 2.